But I was gonna go on. But I tell you before I get through with this here, I will speak other things concerning prophet. Has something to do with what I'm talking about right now. It has a lot to do with this. Just like I said, I'm a father and still is husband, even though my wife divorced me. I didn't divorce her, but I'm still a husband. I have a responsibility to try to upkeep my family. They grown, but every time I talk to all of my children, outside relationships, I lie. My record in reflection, it don't look good, but being a father and done the thing that should be, it reflects who I am because all of my children talk to me. When they get in trouble, I'll tell you back there. But most of them, when they get out of here and get this education and get the knowledge of the world, I found this has been the most destructive part of their being in this world than anything. Many of them they are victim like the other people out there. Because what they do, when Satan have created these myths that they fall, then they storm, they pits they fall into them and use these things against him. When they get education, they got to pay all their life just to pay this education back. So they don't leave any wiggling room for them to enjoy themselves. But if they go out and enjoy themselves and enjoy the pleasures of the world, then it puts them further back into death. They become slaves, victimized by their own education, created by the Antichrist, for everybody wanting to serve you. Well, as they do these things, they get to digging first with a spoon, and then next they dig with the shovel, and sometimes they have to dig with the backhoe. But at all costs, as they keep digging and keep digging and keep digging themselves down in prison, down in slavery, and all of these parts, they victimize themselves by their addictive ways, not created by them, but created by the man that set these people. And as God called me, as I spoke about the preacher, came and told me God sent him after me, and I didn't hear him, and he called me, and he caused these tribulations to come upon me. Well, and I became addicted to cocaine. I'm gonna say this over and over again and reiterate this. I found out that cocaine was not designed by any means to make money. It was not designed to give pleasure to the soul of any man. It was designed as a weapon of mass destruction against the black race. To curse him not only here on earth, but to take his salvation away from him, between him and his God. Because it was the black man, Adam and Eve, who was the seed part of the very first human being. But the angels of God who despised God, who went against God, created a division by interbreeding with the daughters of men, bearing children unto them, and made a sinful seed upon this earth called Satan. So this is where we are today. Through reality and actuality, as God had to undo what Satan had did, God had to create a new revelation in time through the seed of Adam and Eve. And by that seed being of Adam and Eve, that's where the new covenant with man and God began. But yet he had to be about an old covenant when Cain slew Abel. So, but the formality of the seed began with Adam and Eve, but the New Testament would start with Noah after the flood, when that seed came through by that woman who was married to Japheth. It was placed in the middle because when Noah blessed his 3 sons, he placed that seed in the middle. He said, "Cursed be Cain." Cain. He got to be servants of his brother. I became a part of that curse. But I came from the seed of Abraham. Because Moses was not let go into the promised land. He had to come back and be reborn as the bullock to be part of the covenant, technical covenant, born into the United States of America. Going through another slave ship, just like it was in the days of Pharaoh. That would be when all of these prophets would have prophesied lies, and you could see they was prophesied lies because God told them children of Judea and all not to go by the words of the prophet. So you look at the book of Islam, Da Vinci Code. I'm breaking it down to you. So many of these laws, doctrines, God told them, don't listen to the words of these prophets. Don't listen to Muhammad. But yet, they have went and listened to Muhammad and what he done, and I see so many people today going and listening to these people prophesy. But God tells you that in Jeremiah 20s and in the 20s, Jeremiah, don't listen to the voice of these prophets because they're going to prophesy lies. I didn't say this here. God said this here. He told you Muhammad is going to lie to you. He said, don't listen to them. He told you all of these people is going to lie because they're not going to be speaking from the integrity of their heart. If a man do not speak through the integrity of his heart and speak to you, speaking because of he getting paid for him, this of preaching to uplift him, he's going to tell you a lie. And when they came up and said, Ishmael did this, Ishmael did that, he lied because God tells you don't listen to that prophet. He's stealing the word from his prophet. The prophecy after Noah began with Isaac. He tell you that in Genesis chapter 17. Sarah was a black woman. Abraham was a black man in the likeness of their father Seth, who was a true descendant from Adam and Eve. So if Adam and Eve were black, then Abraham was black because you can trace the genealogy of you can trace the genealogy of Sarah and Abraham all the way back to Adam and Eve. So we can say that this seed came from the true vine and the true tree that God had placed upon this earth. This is where the gospel of God began with Adam and Eve. Genesis chapter 1-2 and 2. So if we see these things, it takes us only to this part of the revelation of time. And you go back where a lot of people don't want to preach because of the fear of losing their life. You go back where that white man was created in the foundation of, from the beginning of the earth before the flood of Noah. It's all there in sequence. You don't have to be the famous genius to do this. Out of your own ignorance, when you take and you try to export the gospel and make it something, because this book here, this book there, and question this book and that book, why do you question? Do you not have that kind of knowledge that you can't see what done happen? You got to go